Guys, welcome to the video. This is my top 8 teams list from the UK Games Expo this weekend. I've got John with me. He was casting with the LPG, and
Hello.
He's actually going to sort of interview me about it. So that's.
I'm gonna take control of the channel for the interview.
Okay. So yeah, I'll leave it to you.
Right. So first of all, I wanted to ask you: did you enjoy teams?
Yes, it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot more than singles. I totally scrubbed out on singles.
Was you excited that they added the extra? Was it 1 or 2 rounds? Did they add 2 rounds? Wasn't it?
I don't think they added any rounds. So when I checked with Asmodee before, they said 3 to 5 rounds. So I don't know if this was their original plan or if they were going to try and get away with 3. But I think 5 rounds was always in the equation, and I think everyone was would have been happy with 5 rounds.
Yeah, I think they
anyway.
did 6 in the end. I can't quite remember because I know there was an Asmodee guide there, and they said we should give the community what they want and give an extra round.
Yeah,
which benefited you guys, right? Because you guys,
it was 5 rounds. Because we went X1. I think it was because there was an XO at the end of 5 rounds.
Ah, yes, you're correct. That was it. Yep.
Yeah. So if that team was an XO, then we would have had an extra round, I think.
So what was your team's name for the people who didn't know?
The Distinct Few. I've got it on the thumbnail here, so they can see it.
How did you come up with that?
It's, you know what? No one's ever asked that question. We had a Q&A when we announced the team, and no one asked that question. It sounds a lot grander than it is. Basically, we were having a chat about team names, and then Max said, "Oh, we have all the minorities here." So got the thesaurus out, and then the Distinct Few.
Oh god. So who was your teammates? Obviously Max, as you just said.
On the day it was Max and Anthony. Aaron is also in the team. He wasn't able to make the team event though. He got top 8 in singles.
Yeah, Aaron Copping, right? He topped Euros, right?
Yeah, he was top 8 at Euros as well.
Yeah. So what decks did your teammates go?
So I was player A with Broly, and then Anthony was B with Pan. Sorry, with Janemba, and Max was C with Pan.
Okay, so what made you guys come up with the composition of Broly, Janemba, Pan?
It was just what we had, to be honest. We were originally going to play Super Shenron, Gogeta, Kid Ku.
Yep.
And then we toyed around with Broly GT. We just weren't too convinced with it. And in the end, Anthony managed to pick up Green Broly on the Friday before. So the day before teams, and then that night, 10:30, I was like, okay, I'll pick up this deck, I'll start reading the cards, and I'll play this deck as player A.
So another Euros incident where you picked up hand control, and I gave you like the 1-hour tutorial.
Yeah, pretty much, except no one was teaching me this deck.
Oh, okay. You did well with it though, right? You guys did reasonably well.
Yeah, we got into top 8. We went X1. Actually, in Swiss, I had 2 draws and 3 wins, so I was undefeated in Swiss.
Yeah, that's good.
But I wasn't confident with it. I think it all clicked when I was on stream, actually. So before stream, I posted that message on my Facebook. It was like, because I was confident I was gonna make loads of misplays and just be terrible. But I think that's when it clicked for me.
Yeah, I'm personally awful at this deck, so seeing you do well with it was good. I'm pretty awful with this deck. So looking at the list now. So you've gone 2 East Kais, East Supreme Kai, and then you only went 3 of the 1-drop Brolys. Why 3?
Just you get to search it off the leader, so you don't really need it. 3 is enough. You see it. Usually don't keep it in your hand when you mulligan anyway, so you just need to make sure you don't have everything in life. Sometimes you want access to a second one, but you wouldn't want to play it from hand either because it's dangerous to do that.
Yeah, because it's mandatory 2 life, is it? Or is
it's mandatory 2 life if it's played from hand. Yeah, so I had a game where
basically.
Yeah, I had a game where a freezer's called it on 2 life, and my opponent was like, "So you lose?" Like, no.
No, it has to come from hand.
Has to come from hand.
Well, Seachin using his brain. Well done. So then there's the Paragus as well. This guy untaps one. So what's the play behind this guy?
This card was critical because it was energied in every single game.
Nice. A bit like what the 5-drop Jiren used to be for Vegeta. He was just a very fancy red energy.
Yeah.
So it never came up like the untapping.
Never played it.
Like
never even considered playing it.
Okay, so the 1-drop Paragus the sacrifice. What led you to 2? Because I see some people playing maybe 1, 3. Some people go full on 4.
We only had 2.
Oh, so you only had access.
We only had 2, so yeah.
Okay then. Fair enough. So then you've got the big boy, probably in my opinion, probably the best card in the deck, the Paragus Rampaging Trigger, simply because of all the things it can do in one go, which is quite bonkers. Yeah.
So this is the standard turn 2 play. You get the control mechanism out, and then you just go off from there. Really, it's flexible as well, because you can choose whether you want control mechanism or if you want to search the 6 with the 2-drop.
Yeah, well, 6 or less, isn't it? Yeah, 6
or less.
So if you brick quite badly and you don't get the 4 straight away, you can sort of make your own chain. Because this card's really good for the value of the mana, right? Like, it gets you the mechanism, which is 1 mana.
Yeah.
So you get 3 for 2 mana.
Yeah.
And then the chain. So what did you think of the chain in general? I know it sounds like a really weird question, but a lot of people struggle with building the chain sometimes, like getting the pieces together.
Yeah. So it was difficult to wrap my head round at first. So we went with 4, 4, and 4, which is standard. This list was actually largely based on the one from the States, the guy who got into the finals with Anthony Hernandez.
Yep.
And in terms of the chain, it is what it is. It's just the chain. I think you need to pay attention to what you mulligan at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And then just grab the pieces you want with Paragus Trigger.
Did you like holding on to any of the chain? Like have an 8-drop in your hand straight away at the beginning so you know you had it?
Not the 8. Never keep the 8
8's the only one you can't search, right? Okay, because it's the only one you can't search though.
Yeah, I didn't see the 8 too much, to be honest with you. It was always quite late, but most of the time you want to sit on the 6 because you don't. If you go into the 8 and it gets removed, that's game over.
Yeah, of course. If you haven't got the secret in your hand, right?
Right. Yeah. So sometimes sometimes you just have to play it so that your opponent thinks you have it.
Yeah, like you're bluffing them basically.
Yeah, you bluff. Like sometimes you have to play the 1-drop really, and your opponent has to assume you have the 4 even if you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
And
because it is pretty devastating, right? I guess using your removal on this deck, and then they just dump a bigger one, then they dump a bigger one.
Yeah, basically. There was actually on stream, I did make a misplay when he preemptive strike my 4, and I actually dropped. I didn't need to drop the 4. I could have just chosen not to resolve the 1, and yeah.
Yeah, because obviously if you preemptive strike them, you don't get to go up the chain because it wasn't on the field.
Yeah.
So the Master Roshi, you added in Roshi. I don't see a lot of people play it. Like they just go the Nimbus, the Bad Ring, the Bloodlust, Crushable.
Yeah, You've
gone with the double freezer score.
This was Nimbus to begin with, but we just felt like Nimbus wasn't really needed, and also with Nimbus you need to pitch another yellow card as well. And the hand size sort of hand in this deck isn't always too great, because you need to pitch 2 for the 6 and the 8. And with Roshi, the reason why we chose this, it was a negate and it was a 5k combo.
Yeah, the only reason I see a downside to the Roshi is the limitation you have when you're awakened. 2 battle cards.
Yeah.
So that's the only bad thing I see about it, I guess. But I get the whole extra combo.
Yeah. I never actually... I don't think I ever used it as a negate. There was one turn where I had it there as insurance, as an extra negate.
Yep.
But I don't think I ever played it as a negate. It was just extra combo. It was yellow fodder.
Okay, so let's quickly talk about just the rest of the yellow package then, like the numbers. Why did you go with like 2 Bad Rings, 2 Freezer Schools, and 4 Bloodlust?
We felt Bad Ring was a good call to main, especially in teams.
100%, yep. But why 2?
It was just space, really. Honestly, this deck wasn't that well thought through.
Yeah, thought through. Yeah.
We felt two is sort of your standard standard
Yeah,
number with one
you
on the
just
side.
need one to win the game, right? When you're going for double strike.
Yeah, pretty much that. 2 battering and yeah, 2. We just thought 2 was fine. 2 was fine in the main. Certain matchups you want the third coming in from the side, like your Kitkus and your Janembas, that sort of thing.
I watched a couple of games of this deck in the singles tournament, and I didn't actually see a lot of people use Cold Bloodlust because of the way this deck has to use its energy on its own turn. So did you actually manage to Bloodlust anything, or was it mostly just charged?
No, it was, I Bloodlusted nothing. In top 8 I was holding Bloodlust because I had to go up to 8 because I wanted to push for the game. I didn't get through, but I had to keep the Bloodlust in hand and a yellow up for their Banisher Fu or something like that.
Yeah. So
But
the 2
Lust never got played.
So the 2 freezers calls, do you think maybe 1 would have been enough? Because realistically you're only ever going to play 1, right? Or did you end up playing 2 at some point?
No. I only ever played 1, and it's just to get the 1 drop out if you need to restart anything or control your life, that sort of thing. So I think the 2 would need to be looked at, especially for singles, but in teams, it's just extra yellow for your battering laser.
Yeah, right. So the Broly's Mechanism, you went for 3.
Yep.
I think this card is absolutely crazy strong.
It's
is just ridiculous.
It is, but I never played more than 2 in one game.
Really?
So, yeah, and also it comes off Paragus.
Yeah. So you get 1 no matter what when you get that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't get the mechanism off Paragus if you freezer score him, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He has to be played from hand, yes. So that's a slight downside to him, I guess. But yeah. So obviously 4 Shocking Death Ball. I bet that card did you quite a few wonders against.
Oh, that won me both my mirrors.
Yeah.
And it was really good against Kidku as well. Just blowing up their stuff. It basically just stops Kidku from setting up.
Because they can attack you. You can use it, kill the android.
Kill the 8, yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, Shocking Death Ball was just absolutely nuts in the mirror.
Yeah, it's such a good card. It is an incredibly strong negate.
Because going into the streamed match, because at that point I didn't know what I was doing with the deck. So I was literally talking to Andy. He was like, "Okay, it's a mirror. I just aggro him down, right?" He was like, "Yeah, just aggro him down." And then, because he went quite aggro at me, he wanted die roll. He went quite aggro at me, and then midway through that game, I realized, you know what? You don't go aggro. You go defensive. Let them burn themselves out trying to kill you. Control your life with Shocking Death Ball and your combos and stuff, and then you just hit them the crackback.
Yeah, go like full in. Boof.
Yeah, so I think in both games I won with Double Strike Kai on stream.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
So moving on to the side deck, I want to talk about one card because I remember watching you do a fairly interesting play on stream.
Yeah.
With the Heavenly Wizard Demigra.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say interesting play. We'll say one that a lot of people were confused at the start. When you summoned the 1-drop Broly.
Yeah.
You took the 2 life. And
then
I remember
I did
seeing
watch...
Anthony's face kind of looked like it was melting in fear that you were throwing the game.
It was. I did watch the stream, and then I think both of you saying, "Oh, he's got the secret. He's got the secret." It's like I didn't have the secret, so I put the 1-drop on because when he was attacking me on the 6.
We shouldn't say that you were in the mirror match.
Yeah, I was in a mirror match.
Yeah.
He had the 6 on board, and then I had the Demigra in hand already, and I was just thinking, go into 8, go into 8, go into 8, and he actually went to 8, and I think I deathballed it or something. So yeah, I was just like, yeah. Then I've got game. Play the 1-drop. Get 2 more cards. I think I attacked with leader first actually, just to get more
you did.
in hand.
You attacked with leader to fill up your hand.
Actually maybe he was on 3. He might have been on 3. I attacked with leader, and I think he deathballed it and took a life, which I bad ringed. Was that game 1? It might have been game 1.
I think so. I can't quite remember. I watched it quite a lot.
but yeah, I had the 1-drop. Just take 2 life and then swinging with that, kill kill the 8 with the Demigra and then just combo up.
Yeah, it was pretty good to watch. I was sitting there with I think it's Dan Owens, the EXT guy, and me and him saw you summon the one drop, and we're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then we thought you were going into the secret and stuff, and you just went, "Yeah, attack," because we didn't see your hand, because you hold your hand quite close to your body, so we didn't see what you had, and then you just comboed with this, got the 8, and then won the game. It was pretty pretty bizarre.
Because I didn't see Anthony's face. But
it was a sight to be seen, mate. It was a sight to be seen. It looked like someone held a candle up against his face and he was just melting.
I just remember the game when I comboed the Demigra, and then there was a bit of silence, and then Anthony was like, "Yeah, it dies straight away. It dies straight away."
Death to the Broly. But so no escape Son Goku. I don't actually know what this card does. I need to give it a quick read.
It basically stops cards from bouncing back to hand.
Oh, so it was for the Gogeta ramp deck.
Yeah, because I can pop this stuff on my turn.
Yep.
But it never came in. Didn't see ramp.
So the third bad ring, did you ever side it?
Yep. Janemba and Kidku.
Okay. The Crushables, what matchup did they come in useful against?
They didn't. They
didn't?
They didn't come in. I mean, possibly you might want it for the mirror. But it's crushable. It's sort of like a utility side deck card for teams.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you've got a limited pool, right? So you might as well just use what you have.
Right. Yeah.
So did you ever side in the free Nimbus?
Yes, in the mirror, because Bloodlust came out.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep. Sorry about the burp then. Didn't. So the Godly Destruction Whis, that's the yellow version of Borgos.
Yes.
I'm guessing you sided that in against Nimba?
I didn't actually in the end, because they don't really go that aggressive on their turn. So it never came in. It was just, again, it was there just in case. You don't know what you're going to come up against in teams, really.
Of course, yeah. And the Vegeta, I can never remember this card's name.
Yeah, striving to be the best. So this was for Nemba. This came in for Nemba because they play Deadly Defenders or Awe-Inspiring. So that was it.
So you can straight up KO the free drop.
Yeah. Just kill the Deadly Defender.
Yep. And the kind-hearted guy. I can never remember the card's name. The free drop that they have that has barrier.
Childish Heart.
Yeah, if it's in rest mode, never mind. I just thought that it has to be in rest mode.
Yeah, so it's just for Deadly Defenders, really, because the Janemba players were playing that came against did play it. I remember them charging it once or something, so I thought I'll bring that in to the side. If I didn't see it, then I might not side it in.
Yep. So what were your matchups, if you can remember them?
Yeah, so I had Kidku in the first game, which I drew. I think I drew because I just played extremely slowly because I had no idea what I was doing with the deck. This was against the same as our top 8 opponents. And then round 2 it was Janemba, and I beat that. I don't think my opponent was very strong. Round 3 was another Janemba, which I drew. I think if you lose a die roll against Janemba, you're not in a good position anyway.
Yeah, because they're just going to get to mill you a lot quicker.
Yeah. Round 4 was mirror match on stream. Round 5 was another mirror as well.
Maybe slot A wasn't
a
wise choice.
Well, I mean, I went 3-3-0-2, so it's alright.
So to talk quick conversation about team composition. So I've seen a lot of people went for the composition of a mill deck, so Janemba, and then someone played like a deck that resolved around Shigesh, because obviously if you had the Shigesh and you won the 1 in 3 where you don't come up against the player that has Konoha, you have a very high chance of winning.
Yeah.
And then the third deck was just something, yellow Broly, green Broly. So how many of those compositions did your team feel good against? Like, who did they want to play if you had the choice?
I think Broly, green Broly was quite a good choice in general. So Yeah, Green Body's it's quite versatile actually. There aren't many terrible matchups.
So you weren't worried about a certain deck being paired up against?
No, not really. I mean, I was just worried about not knowing how to play the deck. So
That was between rounds, whacking at your phone, looking at some videos. Yeah.
And then we felt that a blue deck was mandatory in this, so it was either going to be Janemba or Gogeta.
Definitely, I think Nemba was the wisest choice. I think it's got a good matchup against quite a lot of decks. It doesn't really like auto lose to anything unless they kind of like play maybe TN.
Yeah, TN doesn't hurt Janemba much, to be honest.
No, if you can play it wisely, like a good player can just kind of like play. I don't like saying that a good player because that makes it sound really horrible.
It still doesn't hurt them that much because if the Janemba player is good, they can play around it, and also it doesn't actually hit the AOD either.
Yeah, because it's the end of the turn step, right? There was I remember talking to I think it was Blaine from EXT. Me and him were chatting about like the end of step procedure where the AOD untaps, but then TN no longer counts, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So how many times did you summon the secret?
0. Didn't need it.
So do you think maybe you would have just took it out for a fourth Broly or a third Kai, something like that, or would you make sure it's in the deck just in case? Because
this wasn't my deck, this was Anthony's deck.
Yeah.
And I've now got the deck off him without the secret. I'm just gonna put Mirror in there.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the secrets it's a win more, right? A bit like the Black Demigro.
It's I think Black Demigro is better than this because the setup required for the secret is so high. You need those perfect
one health, right?
Health. You need those perfect conditions, and against Janemba, it got milled every time.
Okay, yeah.
Just every single time it got milled, and you have to put yourself to 1. So if it doesn't go through for whatever reason, you lose. And also, it's just the setup. I think is just too hard. It's too difficult. Especially if you're limited to having 2 battle cards on the field. So I would definitely just put Mirror in there, and because I think that's a surprise factor as well. If you're playing against Broly and they're not on 1 life, and they've attacked with their 8-drop, you think you're fine.
Yeah.
Then you drop the Mirror on their face, double strike it.
Bit all over the place with the questions, but I'm starting to realise cards to ask about. So I don't really like this card personally, Tragic Awakening.
Yeah.
I really don't like the idea of paying 3 mana getting the card and whatnot. Maybe there's just a bit of... Did you use it much?
I used it once. I think it's a good card because you can go aggro with it and set up 2 6-drops on the board, or if for whatever reason your chain gets disrupted, you can start again with this. I think this is a better choice than the 1-drop, which lets you start the chain again.
Yeah, the only problem with this card is obviously the Sparkling 7, and the only problem I see with the card is that you necessarily have to fail going up the chain or lose your chain to be able to use it. So would you rather try and have cards that protect the chain better when you get to it, or just have this for when it goes wrong?
I mean, you want to go up to the 6 because the 6 is really strong.
Yeah, it can't be Mufuba'd, right? If I believe so, it can't be hit by Mufuba.
Yeah, and
2 or more.
Sometimes you just don't have the 8 in hand, and if your opponent has removal, then you're done.
And how many people forgot about the activate battle effect on these Brolys, where you can just pitch a card and pop something?
I think it happened once or twice. That was it.
So when I was play testing at locals a couple of times, people would attack, combo up, and they would completely forget that I literally have Shigesh Explosive in 1 card.
Yeah. No, it only happened once or twice.
Yeah, because I saw you pop a guy's secret Broly when I was
so that was in the last round of Swiss. That was the mirror match. He couldn't push through, and then he dropped the secret and attacked. I had the 8-drop on board. I stopped for a bit because I think Anthony was basically shouting, "Kill it, kill it, kill it," and I stopped for a bit because I just thought, "Am I missing something?" So just to evaluate.
What was the rules then? Obviously, regarding you guys talking, couldn't he just simply say to you, "You can use this card to pop it," or was there kind of restrictions?
I knew I could pop it. No, there are no restrictions. He can say whatever he wants. I knew I could pop it, but I was just wondering why my opponent did it. Perhaps he had something else up his sleeve which I was missing.
Oh, okay, like an effect veiler or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I think he knew it was his last. I think, yeah, looking back, that was just his last gambit.
Like he was hoping you would forget, kind of thing.
Yeah, that was the thing.
So what do you quickly think of the super combo? How OP this super combo is?
It's super OP because it just helps you dig.
It's the super OP super combo.
With all the extra cards you have, you can just gain so much combo power with it.
Was there anything else you think of your deck? Because I think we've gone over all the standard points. What do you think of the deck personally?
I really enjoyed the deck in the end, which is why I picked it up. I do feel it needs a little bit more punching power to get through Janemba, which is where I think Golemites would come in, because I'm not playing any Golemites, which...
Yeah, that's the one that decreases or increases the power?
The one that increases the power by an extra 5k, so it's like a 10k combo basically, but you can add the 5 on any body.
What's really good about it is that it increases the power, so it's kind of like, it gets around like an after image thing, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, after image would go off before that anyway.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. But you get what I mean, like gets over cards like that decrease your power to remove a battle card off the board. So it's kind of like a very
Revenge Death Ball, I guess.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think I'll probably take out the 2 Paraguses, put Golemites in.
I really like that card.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say during testing we didn't like it, but we hardly tested this at all.
Well, I mean, you did well, right? Like, you've done it twice now. Picked up a deck the night before.
Yeah.
And done well for yourself. So like, no complaints really, right? Other than you wish you could have got further.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, in our top 8 match, I mean, the other 2 lost theirs anyway. It was just bad matchups all around. So I was against Kid Ku, which is very winnable for this, but sometimes if they have all the combo, they have all the combo. Anthony played against Bolly Victory Strike, so that was tough for him.
Yeah, with
and Max played against Janemba. So
you all had pretty tough matchups then.
Yeah, it's just bad matchups all around basically.
Or was that against the Shadow Cabinet, right?
That was against the Shadow Cabinet, yes.
The Shadow Cabinet. I was walking around talking. A lot of people said they found them quite intimidating.
just player B, right? Yeah.
Yeah, player B. Yeah. But yeah, what support do you hope this deck gets in the future, or any at all? Considering
I don't know. I'm still extremely new to the deck. I've literally only played 5 games with this deck, so.
Jesus,
6.
lad.
Well, no, 6 matches. Yeah, just the tournament, basically.
Just the tournament.
Just
was
the
your
tournament.
learning curve.
Yeah.
Oh god. That's
we carried into top 8.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
So you did well for yourself. Like, you can't complain, man. Like on a personal, I guess, like on a personal mission, you did well, right? You didn't lose a game.
Yeah.
Your teammates lost games, so you can just blame them, right?
Yeah, basically.
But yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I think.
Anything else now,
yeah. No, I think that's everything. We've gone almost half an hour now. So someone's going to complain about the length of this, but yeah, there we go. But thanks for that. If you have any questions, guys, just leave them in the comments below. Of course, like and subscribe.
Comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I'll have more profiles up later on this week. We'll go through the top 16 lists as well. So keep your eyes open for that. Yep. Thanks, John.
That's alright, lad. Anytime.
And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.